Hello, welcome to this week's...
Hey, Shane. How you doing, my friend? Richard Schiff from the West Wing, from The Good Doctor, from a bunch of other things. Hey, I just wanted to jump in here just for 1 second and say congratulations to you on the 3-year anniversary of your show. How's the market, Pensacola? Congrats, pal. Keep doing the good work. And what do you say? Let's go.
Wow. I love that guy in the West Wing. I don't know if I'd watched that before, and the way he played Toby Ziegler was great. And of course, if anybody's seen him in The Good Doctor, he's done a bunch of other things too. He's a fantastic actor. So Richard, thank you. I appreciate that. And as he said, this is our 3rd-year anniversary of doing this. 3 years. Started this off in April of 2019. How the market was totally different than it is today. But we can document this because things are starting to change in the marketplace to where I'm thinking that we're going to start to see a shift. And so now the documentation of where we were is going to help people make better decisions completely. Speaking of some changes, if you paid attention last week to the Fed, they talked about raising rates 7 times. I think I talked about this in last week's episode, but now the 30-year rates shot up to almost 5. Like high 4s, low 5s. I got a couple of buyers that were in the low 5s. So I'm starting to see some people, because we've been spoiled so long in the 3s and 2s and, the low 4s, some people asking sellers to buy down their mortgage rate. Now, what does that mean? Basically, as a buyer or a seller, it doesn't matter who pays for it. Both people can pay for it. You can pay the bank an upfront, basically it's just upfront interest, but that buys your rate down, okay? And so your payments are less. I've seen some people start to ask for that on some contracts. Now, I think in this market we're in right now, that's a tough sell for sellers because sellers don't have to pay that right now. It's a tough sell for sellers to pay any concessions right now. They do happen. I've got 2 of them working right now. Both VA loans, both of them have $5,000 to $7,000 in concessions. So it does happen. We can do it. But it's not an easy sell. Then you start using them to buy mortgage rates down. And I know that there have been there's some agents here in town that I know of that are actually taught that even if you do have concessions, you're not allowed to use it to buy the rate down. And they'll counter that back. Like, you can use it for closing costs, but you cannot use it to buy the rate down. So I think sellers are going to buy the rates down? Probably not. Not in this marketplace, not now. Will it happen sometime in the future? Well, sure, real estate's cyclical. So when we start to get inventory levels back up, we maybe get, out of the hyper sellers into a sellers or into a neutral, or wait for it. Go back and watch my 2019, the first episode. Lighting and everything sucked, but whatever. Go watch that. Look at the numbers. Yeah, there was a hyper buyers and buyer market price points in both counties. So when we see that again, will that happen? Sure. The other thing that I'm hearing a lot of scuttlebutt about is people talking about assuming mortgages. There are some mortgages out there that are still assumable, VA being one of them. So if you're a veteran, let's say somebody wanted to come buy my house, right? And I think I pay them 3.25 or whatever my rate is, right? On my mortgage is what I'm paying now. And they can pay me the difference in cash of what I owe and how much we're selling for. So they can bring that to the table. Well, then you can assume my mortgage and my 6 years worth of payments and keep that low rate. All right, and that's part of the sale. I don't see that very often, especially with the appreciation that we have around here right now, but I did see it in the early 2000s. I saw that quite a bit. Assumption of mortgages was more of a thing at that time. We don't see a lot of products that even allow assumption of mortgage anymore. But VA is one of them. So could that come about? Could we start to see some of that? Sure. Sure, we may start to see some of that. And again, it would have to make sense for all parties. And most people using a VA loan want to use it to get 100% down. But if they've sold and had a nice profit on their past sale, rolling it over to a new sale, hey, that could come out. And it can actually benefit everybody, especially if the rates are 6, 7, 8%. If you can assume mine at 3.25, well, so technical things that could be changing slightly in the marketplace, and it all has to do with lending. Mortgages are where we're going to see the shift start, and then I think we'll start to see inventory follow it. Are we going to have massive foreclosures? No, none of that's happening. Do I think inventory is going to rise drastically, rapidly? No, I don't. Matter of fact, when we get over to the counties here in a second, we're still declining right now. So even with the week, we're still declining. And so I'm hoping with that decline just kind of starts to level off. And then we can do a small adjustment to starting adding inventory to get some of these anemic numbers back under control. Do I think that's going to happen anytime soon? No, I don't. I think they will probably level off with inventory. But coming into April and May, we normally see a spike in inventory. We haven't seen that yet. Of course, here it is the last week of March, so maybe it's still coming. But I know most of the folks that I'm talking to that are even considering selling are like maybe later on down the road, but not right now. So I don't see a huge glutton of inventory coming anytime soon. All right, well, there's our kind of national news. Let's actually jump over to these two counties and see what we got this week. As Mr. Schiff said, let's go. All right, if you don't know that, if you haven't seen the show, you don't know that I always start with this slide right here. It says if we have between 6 and 7 months worth of inventory, we have what's called a neutral market. Anything greater than 7 months considered a buyer's market. Anything less than 6 considered a seller's market. What the slide doesn't say, anything greater than 9, hyper buyer's market. Anything less than 3, hyper seller's market. We start off in Escambia County. We're down to 344 active total. These are including some of our builders that are up. At 300,000 to 350,000 seems to be the highest number of properties at 41, even higher than our luxury at 40. You have to get up to 400,000 before you're over 1 month's inventory, with the exception, look at this, being the 50,000 to 100,000. Now I kind of glanced at this to see what that exception was. There was a lot of lots that came on the market. Around $65,000 and $75,000, so it's dirt, right? Not a house, but that's where their inventory is up a little bit there. But overall, 344 properties under are active right now. Now look at this: 1,075 are pending. So we got 1,075 properties pending. Those are going through the loans, stuff of that nature. But yeah, only 344 active right now. Luxury 700 plus has got 400. It's got the highest inventory months because it's 2.1. Your buyers are just different at that point. Let's jump over to Santa Rosa County, see what we're looking at. Oh, man. We're down to 176 active properties on the market. Just like last week, and this was the first time I've seen this in the time that I've been doing real estate, and I've been in real estate and finance since 1993. So I had not seen to where we were under $100,000. There's nothing. Under $100,000, there is nothing. We saw this for the first time about 4 weeks ago. All right, then something came on at the 100,000 mark, but now we're back to nothing. And then it also looks like the 650 to 700,000 is down to nothing. There is nothing available at that price point right now. When I keep saying, I've said before, I'm like, if we don't get more inventory at this price point, we will run out of properties. Well, that's what happened at the 650 to 700,000 mark. If you look down here, if you come into me and say, I need to buy Santa Rosa County, my budget's up to 200,000. Well, there's 11 total. You got 6 between 100,000 and 150,000, and you got 5 between 150,000 and 200,000. If we can get it up to 250,000, we add another 10. So under $250,000 in Santa Rosa County, there's 21 active properties total. I can send them all to you. Everything. And some of these need some work. Some of these do need some work. So Santa Rosa County has been steady going down slightly in inventory levels, whereas prices are going to continue to appreciate because we've got very low supply and demand is still very, very high. Look at these 0.3 months, I mean, you have to get up to $550,000 to get over 1 month's inventory. And then luxury. Luxury's at 2.5. So it's not, everything's a hyperseller. Everything's a hyperseller. Santa Rosa County is just getting anemic on properties right now. There is nothing for sale. All right. I always end the show, even my 3-year anniversary show, talking about our instant offer program, which we have actually had 2 clients utilize this past week. Basically, an instant offer program is if you've got a property you've inherited, or it just has a lot of rundown maintenance, or you can't deal with it, and you need to sell it quickly, then I can come in and give you what's called an instant offer. This is an offer that's backed by an investment group here in town. So we give you an instant offer immediately. This is one, hey, we'll close in 10 days, right? Whatever. And we're paying cash, or, we may go get a hard money loan or something, but most of us, we're going to be paying cash. So 10 days, as long as we can clear title, and that's about what's taking right now. It's taking title 5 to 6 days to get it work back, and then a couple of days to review the title work. So close in 10 days. Then we can give you that instant offer on that program right there. What one person said that instant offer program actually works for me because it needs a new roof. There was a bunch of work needed on the property. So we will take that instant offer. Plus, we are literally hopping in the RV in 2 weeks and we're traveling the country. So they were very happy with the instant offer program. The other one did what a lot of the folks that review the instant offer program do, and that is they looked at the instant offer, then we use that as a floor to go put it on the MLS. So it'll come on the market here in about 2 weeks once we get it ready to come on the MLS and see if we can get them more. And if I can, fantastic. That's what the program's here for. So the instant offer program is to give you this floor. If you want to put it on the MLS, great. If not, cool. Here's this too. Just depends on what you need to do. So there's a link below to actually talk about more information on the instant offer program, give you an idea of what we're actually doing over there. So 3 years. 3 years. That's tough to believe that every week. How's the market, Pensacola? For 3 years. That's awesome. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.
I'm a man on a mission.
My mission is to help people break through all the noise out there and
Don't need no permission.
I want to help you get to actual truth. Don't you just want the truth?